Every time has its moment, and the moment for this time is now. Welcome to the Plutonian Shore. My name is Roberto Alba, and today we're going to discuss the upcoming Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So buckle up, kiddos. This is going to be a long one. First up, we're going to talk about what a retrograde uh, period or cycle of a planet is, what it really means, um, and how we're going to go about it. One of the most famous or infamous transits that has been gaining a lot of traction in the past couple of years, I've noticed, is the Mercury retrograde. Um, it has gained a lot of infamy over the years because it's associated with, yes, with all the hiccups and all the things and all the obstacles, whether it's in communication, in delays, in commerce, and information, you name it. A lot of those things that people complain about do happen in the Mercury retrograde. Now, why is that? Well, every planet goes into a retrograde cycle. Now, a retrograde cycle is an optical illusion from our perspective on Earth and the zodiac that it seems like the planets become stationary and then they start turning backwards into the zodiac. Now, the truth to the matter is that planets do not uh, stop in their orbit and start uh, running backwards on it. That's not how that works. What does happen is that the elliptical and the orbits of the planet are not as orderly as we think that they are. And like the positioning of the planets in the way that they are towards our perspective and the way that they're going to react to the zodiac, um, sometimes it's just going to seem like the planet is just standing, but standing still in a degree, but it's not. Even though the planet keeps on going, it's the same way. It just seems like it's not moving because it's going in a way that it's farthest away from us, and we can't and we cannot see it in our perspective. And from that perspective, it seems like the planet is going backwards. Now, what it is true about that cycle is then because of the fact that the planet's energy and the position in the zodiac starts shifting, and it goes static and then goes backwards, that brings a shift to the energy that we are the ones that feel in from our perspective and in an energy context. So every time that a planet goes retrograde, there's a shift in that energy. Now it is said that when a planet is direct, all the energy of the planet is flowing outwards, whereas whenever it goes retrograde, that energy starts flowing inwards. A retrograde period, I personally believe. I mean, it's a cycle. Like the famous Mercury retrograde happens roughly every 4 months, and for a good 3 weeks, you're gonna feel it. And like for a good 3 weeks, it's gonna seem like an uninvited guest. Uh, but then things are gonna be flown again. And the truth of the matter is that um, that is just the way that the universe works. I mean, everything happens in cycles, and the way that I see a planet going retrograde, it's almost like the planet needs to take a break, or at least the energy like just needs to take a break, and it starts flowing, and it stops and it recharges, and then when it's charged, it starts flowing again. At least that's how we feel it. Now, for all of you that know the Mercury retrograde, um, you should know that also every other planet goes into a retrograde cycle. A lot of them once a year. Mars doesn't do a retrograde cycle that often. It's like Mars goes retrograde about a year and a half. Mars is a very interesting planet because Mars is part of what it's called the personal planets, which are going to be the sun, the moon, even though they're not planets in astrology, they are considered planets. It's going to be the sun, the moon, um, Mercury, Venus, and Mars is going to be the last one. Now, the interesting thing about Mars is that Mars is the planet that can go farthest away from the sun before it starts going retrograde. I mean, it's like Mars can go really, really out of the personal planets. Is the one that can drift away the farthest from the sun. And in a way, it's very interesting that Mars rules uh, independence. Mars rules the individuality that we have. That's why it also rules the sign of Aries. So the planet Mars also rules the principle of the male energy. Not men, but men too. But it rules war. It rules the principle of aggression, of of assertiveness. It's going to rule our desires, sexuality. It's a very important planet for all of us. Wherever it is that you have it, it's like you have a relationship with that planet. And when Mars goes retrograde, it seems like that energy is going to be recharging itself. The planet Mars has just spent about 2 months in the sign of Taurus, and I personally felt like it was there for like 5 months. Um, as the planets move through different signs, like there are signs where they are in harmony and they can do their they can move with ease and act with ease, and there's sometimes um, signs where the planet is not comfortable and doesn't move at ease because of the polarity that it has with the sign, and such is the case of Mars and the sign of Taurus. And like they might have been some of you, I know myself, I felt it all this time that Mars was in Taurus. I felt like everything was extra hard. Everything that I tried to do seemed like I was doing it with a weighted vest, and I mean everything was just like extra heavy, extra difficult. I was extra tired, and it's because the planet Mars is about to finish its cycle and about to go retrograde. And of course, this time it spent the last gasps and the last sign before it goes retrograde, and the sign of Taurus, which is if I was to put it in an analogy, is like try to run in the mud, and you're gonna be stuck, and it's gonna take you longer, and it's just gonna be frustrating. And by the time that you're done, you're tired and you're done. Like you just want, you just want to shower and be done with it. Hence, now that Mars is coming into the sign of Gemini, Mars is gonna stop and do a retrograde cycle. Now, the thing about this cycle is that Mars is not like Mercury, that it's gonna take 3 weeks. Mars is gonna spend 7 months, 7 months in the sign of Gemini, hosted by the planet Mercury. It's like Mars is just gonna stay there and recharge for 7 months, and roughly it's gonna become direct Interestingly enough, around the time when the sun enters the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So, what to expect about this Mars retrograde, and what does it mean? It's like, does it mean, you know, is it going to be as painful as a Mercury retrograde? And I mean, it really depends. But it's I can tell you that it's too long of a retrograde to feel in, because you're gonna be stuck for such a long time that you're gonna even forget that you're stuck. Although this retrograde is gonna be a very interesting one because of the other alignments that are gonna happen. When Mars goes retrograde, it's a perfect time to strategize. Imagine the soldier that is just done with the mission, and he just came to the base or to the safe house, and he's gonna shower, he's gonna eat, he has to replenish, because a tired soldier is a dead soldier. So he's gonna pick himself up and regain his energy so that we can strategize and go moving forward. So what does that mean for us? When Mars enters the sign of Gemini, it's going to be entering an air sign, and all the air signs are signs of thought. They're signs of ideas. Like, Mars is not going to be moving. Mars and things are going to have to wait. Like, for instance, for all the people that, including myself, that felt tired, that were done with everything, this is going to be a perfect time to strategize and to realize, what is it that I want to do and how am I going to do it? There's going to be an alignment that is going to be super interesting, which is just in presence. Whenever the planet Mars is in Gemini, it's going to uh, create an aspect called a trine with the planet Saturn. Trine is an aspect of harmony. And when two planets are in harmony, the energy just flows perfectly, seamlessly. And when you have the planet of action uh, trining with the planet of consistency, of experience, of planning, it's kind of like you're gonna see the soldier spending some time with the general, and they're both gonna be strategizing about where it is that we want to go. Now, I think that personally, that's the best part of that retrograde. Retrograde can be a super useful time, especially the Mars retrograde. It's a perfect time to relax. You're gonna be too tired anyways, uh, but it's gonna be a very awesome time to reassess your strategy, to plan where is it that you want to go, how to get there, to organize things, because we need to do that sometimes. That's the great thing about whenever we have to stop what we're doing and just, you know, clean and a clean house, just organize our things, and it's like, and we get another perspective, and it takes us from the mundane routine of our daily life. That is much needed. So in the next 7 months, just in presence, Mars is going to be trining the planet Saturn, because Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. But also in October, uh, Mars is going to be making a trine with both Saturn and the planet Venus. All the air signs are going to have planets, and it's going to be a beautiful triangle of energy in the air signs. Now, what does that mean to me? Like, the way that I see it, and I'm calling it, And like, I think that this time is going to be a perfect time to strategize, to plan your next movement. And when Venus enters the sign of Libra, it's going to bring us a little bit of that fine tuning of how can we make it better. It's like that alignment with Mars and Saturn is gonna make it great, but Venus is gonna come. But I think we can make it better, and it's harmonious, and it's gonna be a great energy. It's gonna be a great energy. We're gonna be uh, have an opportunity to make sure that our actions after, for the rest of the year, that we really plan what we want to do. It's like we take this time to stop and realize what is it that we want, how am I going to get there, and how to do my best. And in the meantime, don't feel frustrated, uh because maybe you're not moving forwards, and some of you're not even going to feel it. You're just going to realize that you're going to start focusing a little more on yourself and on your inner world than on the outwards, you know. And like, you might be just um like taking a class or getting yourself ready for an upcoming job that is going to be coming up. Like, this is the time where you're going to be like gathering information, gathering all the resources that you're going to need in order to move forward to your next goal. And that's the best part of this alignment and this coming time that it's going to have. I'm personally very excited about it. And I wish that all of you find a way to harmonize with it, make the most of it, and enjoy it. Never be afraid of a retrograde. There's a Mercury retrograde coming up soon. Don't be afraid of that one either. Just remember, sometimes there's a red light. Take advantage of it, enjoy it, and try to see the underlying reason. What is the benefit of it? Because being taken out of our daily routine to focus on what we usually don't give us an opportunity to grow. So with that in mind, remember, we are looking at the stars, and the stars live within us because we are made of them. And it's by learning the language of the stars that the stars get to learn about themselves. Until the next time, this is Roberto Alba, and this is the Plutonian Shore.